Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Is it the driver behind the wheel? No. Are you sure? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott and Max Gotro. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Andy Isco with us today. Greg Bowser with us today. We do first class, second class, no class today. We got oysters on the grill here at Mike Anderson's. So, and a beautiful day here in Baton Rouge. Jimmy, how you doing?
It's good. I'm the prop specialist now, Charlie.
Yeah?
Hit all the props and lost the game. That's not good.
So what spurred you to become a prop specialist?
Because I thought this was this part of it was right. I thought it was just an offensive game. Key injuries for Baltimore defense, which is going to make it tough. And you know, I don't know how good the Lions defense is, but they certainly got some sacks last night. But it just, some of these props are kind of a joke. I mean, you don't even offer an under. I mean, like, okay, hey, Charlie, I could shoot you a line, and you can only bet this side. Well, I mean, it's kind of silly, but
Yes or no?
yeah, it's just. But that's it. The Ravens got beaten. Did you think when they opened up the second half they were kind of on their way?
I thought
kind of settled down after the goal line stands.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry can't punch it in. Huh?
I thought Baltimore would win this game, and obviously I was wrong there. They lost it in the most well, I guess maybe we should look at this team differently than we look at most Baltimore teams, because at the beginning of last season their defense wasn't as good, but it corrected. By the end of the season it was back to close to Baltimore standards. This team gave up 225 yards on the ground last night. They got gashed repeatedly, and not just with the long David Montgomery run. I mean, they got gashed and gashed and gashed.
Yeah.
They gave up a 96-yard drive. They gave up a 98-yard drive. And then Derrick Henry, who has fumbled in the fourth quarter twice in his career in 9 years leading into this, has fumbled twice in the fourth quarter, once in each of the two losses, and both of those things were crucial.
He fumbled in the win, too.
Yeah, he fumbled in the win. I don't think that was in the fourth quarter, but yeah,
no.
Fourth quarter fumbles in each of the losses and 3 fumbles overall. You're right. So if you tell me that Baltimore is playing shoddy defense, and they are, and Derrick Henry is going to be a turnover risk, which I think that will correct. I think it's a little flukish, but it's there. It's like, whoa, these don't look like the Ravens as we know them. Jimmy, they've scored 111 points through 3 games, and they're 1-2. That's the most points in NFL history through 3 games for a team with a losing record. You score 111 points in 3 weeks, you're supposed to have a winning record at the very least, if not be undefeated, and they're not. So it doesn't look like the Ravens at all to me. You know how I feel about that organization. I think they do everything right, but they don't look like the Ravens right now.
Bill, I mean, they're kind of the carbon copy of the Bills, huh? Although the Bills are 3-0, but
yeah,
the Bills' defense is not good.
No, they're not.
So I mean, it's a lot of it's no. Everybody thinks going into last night, and I kind of still do, Charlie. I mean, I still think that Baltimore and Buffalo are the teams to beat in the AFC, but you are putting a lot of pressure for. I mean, very little room for error for Allen and Jackson. Now, will Baltimore get Van Noy back, Ebuke back, Zaire Alexander back? I mean, those are key guys, but they got a lot of money in their quarterbacks, and so a lot of times the rest of the roster is not going to be that strong. But the Bills have. I just wonder, man. That's so. Who is the best team? The Packers. The Packers lost to the Browns. Hey, Jordan Love. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you ready to say, okay, they're a lot. Who is the best? Which is how the league is supposed to be, huh? Well,
Yes,
it's geared for parity.
That's why it is the most
Minus our
popular.
favorite team down the road, but
that's why it's so popular.
the
Your
Colts
team
are
has a chance.
far from. I mean, they're going to settle down.
If you ask me who the best teams in the league are right now, it's Philadelphia and Buffalo, with the Chargers trying to convince me and getting closer.
And how fortunate is Philadelphia?
They are fortunate. How fortunate the Chargers could have lost to Denver on if Bo Nix.
They should have lost.
One of the
Bo Nix is terrible.
He hits one of those passes that the guys were wide open. But I like the Chargers team. I like the makeup. I think they've had a couple of key injuries of guys that are not going to get back. That concerns me. But
real quick on
they're within shouting distance.
Real quick on Bo Nix, their offense, they are sort of their win rate protection is really, really high. So he's fine. And still, Peyton is throwing – he's scared to death of him. His yards per pass, air yards per pass are the lowest in the league. Really? The lowest.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
I mean, so he's getting protection. He's got – and they just he's having a rough go.
Look at the 3-0 teams in the NFC. Tampa, who's won 3 games by a combined, I think, 7 points.
Yep.
The Niners, who have won 2 games with a backup quarterback, I'll give you that.
All by 1 score.
But, yeah, three games by a combined 10 points, okay? None of these things are dominant. I would have
Bosa's out, and they already showed the stats in the game on Sunday, with him in and out of the game. Yeah.
And they may get Purdy back this week.
Probably.
Mac Jones wasn't terrible, but they've got other injuries besides that. I would have put Green Bay in this category, certainly, and I still do. I'm gonna maybe chalk Sunday up the fourth quarter against Cleveland a little bit flukish because I think that team is really good, but I can't ignore the fact that they blew what should have been a win for them. I mean, when they're up 2 scores, we're watching the game together. Cleveland's not going to score at all today.
Right.
That was a reasonable prediction.
It didn't happen. And
but
then they get down there first and goal, and they settle for 3, and at least they covered the spread, talking about Cleveland. But Love gives them the ball right back.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. So, and then the blocked field goals. I mean, we had 3 blocked field goals in like a 20-minute span of real time. It was crazy.
Yeah. Now, here's something else, and we know this a little bit from the Survivor package. The dominant teams, okay, there's not a lot of them, and even the ones that they have, we can poke some holes in them. But the favorites are winning more games than usual through 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not covering it at the huge number, but they're winning most of these games. The biggest upset that we've had so far, I think, is that Green Bay-Cleveland game. Is that
Without
right?
a doubt.
Yeah. So we haven't had a ton of upsets.
No, it's close calls.
Close calls, but not a lot of upsets.
Yeah. I think Phil, and how much is Super Bowl hangover? How much, will they certainly have the potential to get right and get in form entering the postseason, but they've been kind of shaky, man. I mean, They were getting pushed around, Charlie.
They were supposed to lose that game to the Rams on Saturday. They were supposed to lose that game twice. First of all, they're not supposed to blow that big lead. And the second thing is they're not supposed to get that field goal block. We're watching guys make 58-yard field goals like they're, falling out of bed. And not only do they get the field goal block, they get it run back for the unlikely cover. But no, they could have lost, should have lost the Rams game, could have lost the Chiefs game, could have lost the Cowboys game.
Absolutely.
And some really unusual things. C.D. Lamb, one of the top receivers in football, we think, dropped some balls in a game against the Cowboys. So, yeah, they're 3-0, and they're still the champs, and they're a great football team. But are they operating at the highest level right now? No. And you don't need to be in September. I get it. They're geared towards playoff football, but right now this is, what they are. Maybe that is the mark of a great team. A team that's supposed to have a Super Bowl hangover and does a little bit, but is still winning. It's still winning.
I think Matt Stafford might be playing better than anybody at quarterback.
I can't argue that either. They asked Drew Brees this morning on Get Up who he thought was playing the best. His answer surprised. He said Jordan Love, which was a little bit of a surprise. I think he's played okay, but I don't know that he's.
Oh man, not after that. You can the team. You think Cleveland's going to drive the length of the field on Green Bay?
Right. So I wouldn't have put Jordan Love up, and of course Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson were up there. I was surprised he didn't mention Justin Herbert or Matt Stafford, who I think are both playing at uber high level.
I think McVay that was part of the comeback as well. Kicking short field goals on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2, not trusting his guy who's playing at such a high level. Sure doesn't look like a guy with a debilitating back.
No, he is doing it. And he's still got plenty of arm. Yes. I'm thinking about some of these guys that the arm strength. Peyton Manning's the most obvious example. He got by that last year on just knowledge and guile, and they had a great defense. The arm was shot. Stafford's still got plenty of arm, even with all that back injury, and he can still spin it.
Now,
I mean, not like when he was 27.
No, Charlie, he ain't far off from where his arm strength. And I think he's decision. I think he's playing as good as he's ever played. They got he lost his main guy. Now Nakua is really good, but still, he's playing really good football right now. And Jackson, what is the deal, man? Like, what? You just can't get over the hump. Did he show us? I'm trying to see if last night was kind of another indication why he just can't get over that hump.
He can't get over.
He had 2 critical turnovers in the loss last year at Buffalo in the playoffs.
That was on him. Last night, the defense gives up, 225 yards on the ground, and Henry fumbles in the fourth quarter. I can't put last night on Lamar. I can't. The playoff games, absolutely. In his last 20 regular season games, Jackson's thrown 50 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions.
Damn.
And he's run for 1,100 yards in those same 20 games. And over the last 3 years, or 2 years plus the beginning of this year, he's missed 0 games for injury. I can't put this one on Lamar. I thought he was fine. What the other quarterback that I thought of, because we don't put this guy in there, but he is off to a great start. Is it a mirage or whatever? Is Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's going to come back to the pack, but through 3 weeks, he's been really good.
And who have they played? Miami.
Nobody special.
Tennessee.
Dolphins, Broncos, and Titans.
And the refs gave them the Denver game.
2 of those teams are among the worst 6 in the league. I will give you that. Yeah.
But he's played better. Anybody's expected, but I can't. I'm
not ready to put him there yet either.
No.
I'm just saying he's played very well through 3 weeks.
We're over here at Mike Anderson, so, hey, man, what a great time we had over here the last couple of weeks for home games, and, boy, we were slammed. So many people love to come through Mike Anderson's on their way out of town, folks, visiting fans, certainly, who who come from areas that just don't have the seafood restaurants available like we do over here at Mike Anderson's. Shane and the gang over here at the bar area do a great job. The Oyster Bar each and every Tuesday night, 5 to 9 p.m. Bar only, but oysters on the half shell are half off. Half off oysters on the half shell. We do drink specials as well on Tuesday nights, so always a good time over here. And don't forget, if you're going to the games, don't go empty-handed. We're doing gallons of strawberry daiquiris, bushwhackers, and margaritas. So or your watch party. Don't go to your watch party empty-handed. You can come by and get a gallon of frozen drinks over here behind the bar from Mike Anderson's.
Live at Mike Anderson's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, no 2 situations are the same, so let them work with you at Coastal Capital Advisors, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure all your goals are achieved. I tell you what, they've done a great job for our family over the years. It comes with that peace of mind and that lifetime relationship. Call at 337-981-1376. Phil Fontenot and his staff ready to talk with you. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA SIPC. Jimmy, listen to Lane Kiffin yesterday. There's nobody quite as entertaining as Lane Kiffin, and it's been all different degrees throughout the course of his career. And yesterday I thought I was listening to Lou Holtz. You remember how Lou Holtz when he had the great teams at Notre Dame?
Yeah.
And
he was trying to make a case for SMU, which was probably the weakest team. They come off the death penalty. They basically had a AAA high school roster, and they were like 50-point favorites, and he was trying to make a case how
they were the 78 Steelers, right?
Yes, I know.
And Lane Kiffin sounded a little bit like that yesterday. LSU.
That wasn't the thing that got me. Go ahead, continue.
LSU went into the portal. The three most expensive defensive backs, they got all three of them. And look, Mansur Delane's grades are as high as any corner in the country. So I'm with him there. And the other two are really good too. So maybe he's right. Maybe they were. And then he gets into, the game is going to be during the day. If it would be at LSU, it would be at night. I'm sure it's going to be at night when we go to Georgia. You look at LSU's offensive huddle, it looks like an NFL. I was just laying it on so thick. And then I know you don't get into the foolishness, and I don't either, but the whole Whit Weeks is dating his daughter thing that got posted yesterday. The soap opera that is Lane Kiffin is.
He mentioned it?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, that was just something else that came out yesterday. No, he didn't mention that. And I stay out all that off the field stuff. But Kiffin yesterday,
Not the first dude she's dating.
This was master theater yesterday for Lane Kiffin. That
wasn't a highlight. You didn't notice something else we talked about?
From Kiffin?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What am I missing?
Who is going to start? What's the quarterback rotation going to be? And he says it's going to have a lot to do with injury.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Well, if Simmons is hurt, but if we're trying to get him to 100%, if he's 100%, he's our starter. I'm like, go right ahead.
Yeah, believe me.
Chambliss has the number 9 passer rating in the country. Arkansas and Tulane don't have great defenses. They have better defenses than a lot of Renowins.
They're better defenses in Southeastern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the two other teams that they played. That
Georgia State,
Alabama A&M, whatever.
Yeah.
I still believe it. How can you not play the better quarterback?
He is leaving himself some wiggle room here because he can always say,
"Well, he wasn't quite 100%."
Yeah. That's an easy one to fudge on, and it keeps everybody guessing all week, which is probably what he wants.
So there's old sayings and theories. Never take points off the board kind of deal. Oh, well, I'll take first and goal from the 5 instead of 3 points.
That's a dated one, yeah.
Okay, well, you can't lose.
We heard that a lot.
You can't lose your job. You can't lose your position to injury. Well, have you seen the backup? So then when the backup comes in and he clearly outplays the starter, maybe you can't lose your job to injury, but a player can win a position by performance.
Absolutely. And
yes.
I can make a strong case that Austin Simmons lost this job by what he did as much as before Chambliss even came in, okay? You threw 5 quarters of football. He's thrown 4 interceptions. I can set a quarterback that's thrown an interception a quarter almost, and then when the backup comes, now if the backup's no good, well then, all right, you just got to go through the rough spots. But
the offense does not operate as smoothly with Simmons as it does with Chambliss. It's real simple. And it's the interception. He keeps the ball out of harm's way. Okay, that's data. But he doesn't miss guys as much. He hits guys in stride more. The offense just, man, I'm taking LSU in this game. Okay, please play Simmons. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Please play him.
And
I just don't believe a word he's saying.
Nor should you. Nor should you. And we're going to point this out again. People probably get tired of hearing this by the end of the week. Trinidad Chambliss has played a lot more football than Austin Simmons has. He played it at a lower level at Division II, but this kid played 25 games. He started 16 of them. They won the Division II national championship. He is not without talent, and he's better right now than Austin Simmons is. He's going to be better when, Simmons has got a stronger arm. I'll give him that. I don't know if it's by a lot, but maybe by a little bit. But right now, today, Chambliss is playing better. He gives them a better chance to win. From what we have seen on the field, he gives them a better chance to win on Saturday.
Trinidad, what's going on? I mean, remember when you grew up and, your favorite quarterback, Bert Jones, Joe, Bert, Joe, these guys. We got Trinidad, Diego, Fernando, Sagapolitelli. What the hell's going on with the quarterbacks in college?
What was that stupid Vince Vaughn movie where the guy had named all of his kids after where they were conceived? He goes, here's Dallas, and here's Denver, and here's Orlando. It was a bad movie, but maybe they named him because he was conceived in Trinidad. I don't know.
Fernando.
But all I know is he can play quarterback, partner. He's a real good player. Trinidad Chambliss.
He's better.
Yeah.
He's better.
Which is also not to say that LSU's defense, which is also really good, can't get to either one of these guys. But the kid has played really well.
Who's going to have more wins as far as the Ole Miss offense versus the LSU defense? Who's going to is a general how many punts versus how many scoring drives? Is that fair?
Yes.
Who's gonna win that?
So if we're going to give them, let's say we're going to give them 12 drives, okay? I think a reasonable goal for LSU would be to get 6 drives a half. It's about what you get. About what you get. Okay. If LSU could get 7 stops and allow 5 scoring drives, and not all of them touchdowns. Let's say 3 touchdown drives and 2 field goal drives, they get to 27 points on the road against this offense in Lane Kiffin. I would say if you could give
7 to 5,
that would be a win. 27 points. What is the total in this game? The total in this game is 54.5. So Ole Miss is
That's right on it because it's basically a pick.
Right.
Point spread.
They're supposed to score about 27 points ish.
28-27 is over. 27-26 is under.
Yeah, so the ball's in your court, LSU offense. If I gave you right now, I said Ole Miss is going to score 27 points, would you still get LSU?
Charlie has a history of getting on that fence sometimes. This is the ultimate. He didn't even know he was doing it. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, 27 points. Total is 20.
Sometimes the numbers just fall into place, right?
How can't you live bet when you figured that out so quick?
I don't know. It's a lack of courage, I think sometimes. But let me ask you, you said you're going to take LSU in this game. If I told you right now Ole Miss is going to score 27 points, would you take the Tigers?
I don't know, Charlie. I think –
That's close, right?
Yes. Nussmeyer's got it. Come on, dude.
But
come on,
Nussmeier. You got to score 28 points.
I don't care what how productive the running game is. It certainly helps, but come on, man. Forget the injury. Forget this. You lack them, whatever. I mean, this Ole Miss defense is not last year. It's funny. We're talking about it on the podcast, myself and Paul Stone today, and I picked Ole Miss last year. I thought Ole Miss had the better roster. I mean,
Ole Miss should have won the game.
Kelly basically said that this week, and he basically said we got the better roster this year. It doesn't mean they're going to win. Now, with all the shenanigans in Lane Kiffin, he is right. We do usually play this game in the afternoon. They usually play us at night. He is right. I mean, Tiger Stadium is a little bit more legendary at night than the Portalettes in the visiting end zone in Vaught Hemingway.
Yeah.
Okay? You get showered with the airport bottles from the student section. After they score?
The league, when they're operating right with their TV partners, asks for certain things, We want this game to be here. We want this game to be here. They try to put LSU at night if they can. It's a better deal, okay?
Is it an event? Sure it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he does have a point there, but.
No, he does, and he's probably right about the Georgia thing. That will probably be a night game. Can I pull out an old Jerry DiNardo quote? Hey, look, you want to play at 11 o'clock every week? Stink. Okay, we'll play all the games when. Well, that was when they weren't on.
No,
on
you
TV.
just said the other thing. If we don't want to play at 11, we need to win more games.
Right. So if you're now that everything, he said that when everything wasn't on TV. Now that everything's on TV, you want to play at 11 o'clock every week? Stink. Okay, you play Georgia at 11 o'clock. No, you're good. You're compelling. You're gonna draw some night games. You just want some in Oxford. I don't blame him.
He wants to play at night. I mean, can't
looking for every advantage he can get.
Oh, Jackson Dart just announced a starter.
Ooh, against the Chargers, huh? That's baptism by fire. I thought they might hold him for the Saints, but okay.
Would be his second start.
Yeah, just start your.
But both of these quarterbacks have put up, Simmons and the numbers are pretty good. It is a quarterback-friendly system. Can Dart be that guy? Can he be in a lower degree, the Pat Mahomes out of Texas Tech? Because those quarterbacks, it was system quarterbacks forever, but Mahomes was the only one to do anything. Now he's great, but can Dart be a multi-year starter? A guy that has 10 years starting career.
Yeah,
you think so?
I think so. And
okay,
there are a lot of people that think that.
Well, I just until I see it,
sure,
I'm going to bet against it.
I get it with the system quarterback.
And I mean, it's start 40 last year with the game on the line at Florida. When he throws up on himself with their playoff berth on the line, that's too deep into that's too many starts to be making those decisions.
That was bad. Hey, you know how many interceptions Matt Corral threw his last year as a starter at Ole Miss?
Probably very little.
5. You know how many Jackson Dart threw his last year as a starter at
10?
Ole Miss? His last year, 6.
Okay.
You know how many Simmons threw in his first 5 quarters? 4.
Well, what did those guys throw in for? Yeah, I mean he throws for nothing but fastballs, and that's the thing to me where, I mean, it just doesn't. Yeah, it's a strong arm, but I mean, so did Joe Milton, so did Nico.
Yeah,
I mean, they got strong arms.
To be fair, Dart threw 10 his first year as a starter.
Yeah, it's a quarterback-friendly system, man. And how many Chambliss throw?
He's thrown none so far.
Oh,
Zero.
How about Fernando?
Ooh,
Fernando, 14 TDs and no interceptions.
It's in my notes here. I'm asking you about Fernando later on. We'll do for a second. No,
Fernando's
on the log today.
Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane. Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across from Ambrosia Bakery. My buddy Jason Payne. You've heard the horror story about. You paid what to get what done on your car? No. Hey, that engine light comes on. We're not trained mechanics. Bring it in. We'll figure it out. Belts, hoses, general services like oil changes, undercar services, electronic, transmission, AC repair, electrical, you name it. Come on by to K&M Automotive on Segan Lane. We're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across from Ambrosia Bakery. It's the only place I take my vehicle.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, my man, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing pretty well. Hope everybody had a good weekend and was entertained last night.
What did you think of last night?
Baltimore's got some issues.
Uh-huh.
And I cannot understand Derrick Henry, 3 straight games, fumbles late. He's always known for being stronger in the fourth quarter than he is in the first quarter, but maybe that's age and all the wear and tear, and of course extra games that he's played. Although not as many, he played some with Tennessee for a few years. Remember they started off slowly last year. I am surprised to a certain extent that they are favored in Kansas City this week. I think they were 2.5, and they took the game off last night. They put it back up this morning. I'm seeing 2.5s and 3s with Baltimore on the road at Kansas City. And I think I've mentioned it before. You've got a great offense in Baltimore, a great defense in Kansas City. When you got great against great, I usually go with defense. When you have when you have a bad offense going up against a bad defense, I'll normally go with the bad offense. But that's not the case here. I would say if I were to rank these units 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd probably say the Kansas City defense, the Baltimore offense, the Kansas City offense, and the Baltimore defense in that order.
Andy, I want to thank you because I was not going to play this game, certainly the total, but I think Charlie may have jumped on it too. But the Green Bay Cleveland, both you and Macero back to back on our on Football Sunday. Yeah, gave us the under, and that was, you want to talk about a dead under.
Yeah.
I mean, that this Cleveland team might be, and Green Bay to a certain extent. And now you got a little bit lucky on the last one, but that all counts. Speaking with the Chargers, but speaking of luck, have the people that had the Rams spread more vocal than the people that had Philadelphia, would you say?
I believe that there was a somewhat evenly divided game because there were good reasons. I did not play that game because I could make a case. You know, when you got a competitively priced game between two good teams, I'll normally stay away from it except in certain situations. For example, like the Super Bowl. But I could make a case for the Rams winning. They knew they could compete. Remember, they got torched in the regular season game by the Eagles and by Barkley, and then they came back and they were what? A few seconds away, one catch away from making it to the Super Bowl. So they knew they could compete, and they showed that. I guess you have to give Philadelphia a lot of credit for coming back. You're down 26-7, in that game, and you mount the comeback to take the lead. That's some resiliency there. And, the way they lost the game, it's one thing to have a blocked field goal for the game winner. It's another thing to have it returned. It's another thing to have it returned by the guy who blocked it. And then it's another thing to have it returned by the guy who blocked it at 330 pounds.
Well, just name me another time when it's happened. I mean, and this is where the kickers have never been better and are off to this unbelievable start. So, speaking of divided, we had a table at the sportsbook that was divided, and so I went off like, oh, they're going to cover because I had Philadelphia. I quickly shut up when Charlie said, I have the Rams. So I let it go. I politely said, I need to shut up, and let it go.
You bought him a beer, and he felt. You bought him a beer, and he felt okay after that.
That's right. Yeah. So the but. We remember the bad beats way more than the lucky wins. I try to remember both. I try to. I try to just get the right side. They call it, okay.
Yeah.
And the Rams were certainly the right side, and then some luck is involved in some of this. It seems like more in the NFL than others, but you can't. I can't feel like that was a smart handicap on me. It wasn't. It clearly wasn't. So, just your thoughts on that, trying to, with this bad, because there's a lot of people, because it's historic. I mean, it's up there. I don't know if it's number one. I'm still trying to digest it. I remember the Music City Miracle. That decided it. That was a tough one. That's as tough as it gets. So,
good handicappers are going to have more bad beats than they're going to have what I would call fortunate wins. Because if you're a good handicapper, you can't handicap to a certain extent the unhandicapable, such as turnovers, when they're going to occur, if they're going to occur, where they're going to occur. So you were on the right side that didn't cash when you were with the Rams the other day, and that happens a lot. And there's also another thing. There's a difference between bad beats and tough beats. Some people would say, for example, it was a bad beat when Tampa Bay came back on that Monday night game to beat Houston. Okay? That was not a bad beat. It's a one-possession game. The team is going down the field and trying to score, and either the defense makes the plays or it doesn't make the play. A bad beat is what happened on the game with the Rams and the Eagles. So a lot of people confuse the two. A tough beat, that's just the result of a natural play, and, hey, the team who scored last won the game and covered, et cetera, something like that. A bad beat is something where, A, it's a combination of an improbable event, and B, the likelihood of it occurring at that point in the game when the game is ultimately decided. So I can empathize with bad beats and tough beats, but I do distinguish between them.
What did you think of? And this is what I try to tell Charlie too. So Charlie, your Raiders Baltimore game, was that a year or two ago?
Last year.
Last
year week
okay.
2.
Okay, is that your Green Bay Cleveland? Week 3 game for Survivor.
I thought,
you know what I mean?
I thought Baltimore was in control of that game and let it get away. Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, but
Yeah, I think they were up by 10 points entering the fourth quarter, and the Raiders scored, I think, 2 touchdowns to win.
They were.
Yeah. That was it. But the
Is-
Cleveland game was a lot different because that game was, it was a tight game the entire way. The Baltimore, as Charlie just said, Baltimore was in control of the game against the Raiders. This Cleveland-Green Bay game was tight from the start, and I think I mentioned both of these teams came in with outstanding defenses, especially against the run, and even the pass defenses were pretty good, ranking top 5 or something like that. So there's a difference between the two games, and maybe you take a look at Tampa Bay and the Jets as perhaps one of those types of games.
I was going to ask you that. So it's not as common as it used to be, but these big leads, and then they go to prevent because they want you to want the team that's behind to use up clock. And there's some times where the prevent is the right call, but you'll see a team that can't do anything for 3.5 quarters that goes right up and down the field if they're patient with the garbage yards. Was the Jets one of those typical backdoor covers, or with the block, scoop, and score? No, that was lucky. I mean, certainly lucky with the block, scoop, and score. It's not a common play, but they would have had another chance with about 2 minutes to backdoor it with either a field goal or a touchdown.
Well, they had already covered it at 6.5 or 7 when they was 26-20.
I know, but the field goal makes it 9, Andy.
If they were to get the field goal, you mean to make it 29-20? Yeah, but they never did. Right? They did at the end of the game.
Had they made the field goal like they usually do 90% of the time, would the Jets would the Jets have come back? We watched Tyrod Taylor even in a prevent. Who knows what he was going to do? I mean,
I'll tell you what, it's a compelling game this coming Monday night. I can understand Miami being favored, and you really have to take a look at Miami. And I don't know how good of a team they're going to end up being, if they're going to be good at all. But the more we see Indianapolis play, and we'll get a good test of them against the Rams, because the Rams have to be in a very feisty mood blowing that game the way they did, or even letting Philadelphia come back to be in a position to get the win with the blocked field goal. Indianapolis may be better than we think, and keep in mind, this is Steichen's 3rd year. He was 8-9 and 9-8, so it's not as though his first 2 seasons were failures. He was taking over a bad team, got him to basically nearly in contention for a wild card his first 2 years. This is his 3rd season. He's now been able to have 2 full seasons to evaluate. We may find out Indianapolis is a much better team, and they could very well win that South, because this Houston Texans team is horrible. I wanted to, I played them last week and lost to Jacksonville, and I wanted to play him this week as well, because if you take a look at Cam Ward, what's the good news and bad news about Cam Ward of Tennessee? The good news is he only got sacked 4 times this past week. The bad news is, the good news is that he had his best week in sacks. The bad news is he was 4 because he was sacked 6 and 5 times in his first 2 games. But you take a look at Stroud, and his numbers aren't that much better. So, is there really an advantage for Houston? I was thinking of Houston actually as a survivor play, going up against a Tennessee team that really is struggling to find an identity. But when I take a look at what Stroud can do, I can't trust Tennessee. Can't trust Houston in this spot, even though it's very favorable. Miami, on the other hand, is a team that, what I was about to say is that Miami, it may look more and more that route by Indianapolis was an outlier for Miami and an indication that we didn't realize at the time that Indianapolis is an improved team. We saw the Dolphins play better against New England, and then, of course, we saw them play much better last Monday night Thursday night, against Buffalo. Now they're laying 3 to the Jets, and you really have to wonder how the Jets have to feel after last week's game, because they did score 21 points in the fourth quarter after Tampa Bay had a commanding lead.
Then nothing says a primetime standalone like the New York teams. The Giants were a thriller on Sunday night. The Giants and Jets now 4-31 run on prime time. So keep putting them on there. We love that. So, Andy, any picks in the NFL this week?
I don't like laying big names, but I could see Denver. Minnesota got fortunate with all the ways, but we saw a lot of the issues. We had seen the Cincinnati offense struggling even with Burrow. Now you have to really wonder what they're going to do with Browning and if they're going to make some changes there. Denver, if the defense is good, the Denver defense should be able to shut down Cincinnati at home on Monday night. I know it's a big name, a big number 7, but I think we see Denver going against the weakest defense that they will have seen so far this year.
Jake Browning, 2 years ago, 8 yards an attempt, 12 TDs, 7 interceptions. This year, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Andy, and anything at college before we let you go?
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about the Ole Miss LSU game. And one thing that you have to be aware of is you have to be aware of the statistics. If you look at the generally published statistics, it shows that LSU is outgaining their opposition by 145 yards per game. If you take out the game against Southeast Louisiana, that FCS opponent, they're only plus 85 yards per game. Ole Miss has played a more difficult schedule. They did not have any FCS games amongst their first 4. They had 2 conference games, the Kentucky game and the Arkansas game. They played Georgia State team that isn't all that much, but still it's an FBS team, not FCS. And then they played at Tulane last week, who had been playing very, very well and performed extremely well against Tulane, did Ole Miss. So both, the good news for Ole Miss is they have a bye next week. The bad news for Ole Miss is LSU has a bye next week as well. But I think Ole Miss is turning out to be as good a team this year without Jackson Dart as they were last year.
Andy, follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. Thank you, Andy. We'll talk to you on Football Sunday. Nice job with a 2-0 Sunday last week.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the week.
Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. General installations, maintenance for all of your AC and heating. Service today, every day means same-day service, means you will never sleep hot. You call today, you get service today. We're factorized, authorized dealers for Carrier and American Standard, Dakin and Rheem products. Generators, authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings, covering both the Metro Baton Rouge area and New Orleans areas as well, but not to compromise because we have completely different staffs in offices in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Mike Anderson's, live at Lunch 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, breaking news here. Pete Thamel reporting that Mike Gundy has been fired at Oklahoma State. Jimmy, yesterday we were talking about his 12 straight losses against FBS competition. Gundy's been the coach there since 2005. He had an unprecedented run of success at Oklahoma State, but he has, I think he used the term, given up yesterday.
Yeah, he has.
And that's, I think that was accurate. I thought maybe they would let him finish out this thing just kind of as a show of respect for what he had done over the year, but I think they've decided it's just too much. And you got to move forward.
Well, Pete Thamel's got AI on this one because AI says there's no indication that Mike Gundy has been fired, and so whatever, we'll get to that. But and they're talking about an embarrassing loss to Tulsa. That was on Friday night. So, but anyway, it was going to happen at some point. I'm a little surprised it happened this quick. So Gundy before Sunbelt Billy.
Yeah.
I think you got to give Sunbelt Billy the chance of what he did last year to turn it around because very similar path. They got embarrassed at home by Miami last year.
Yeah, if they didn't fire him during the bye week, they're obviously going to give him deep into the season. I'm talking about Napier. First class, second class, no class from Mike Anderson's when we return live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch, First Class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second Class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And No Class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First Class, Second Class, and No Class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And return here at Mike Anderson's Wesley Ed Nicholson. Come by and see us. We're here in the front bar, right where they're shucking oysters and char grilling oysters. Come by here and see us for lunch here at Mike Anderson's.
Before you get into your first, second, no class, Charlie, just to follow up as we were rushed into the top of the hour hard break with the firing of Mike Gundy. We have talked a lot about the you got such a great menu of games this weekend in college football this Saturday. And one of the big ones, obviously, the whiteout Penn State. Penn State and James Franklin should be absolutely ashamed of their non-conference schedule, and then they need a bye. Makes no sense after 3 games going into the Oregon game. But look at and these teams were better when they scheduled these games. But look at what Oregon has played. I mean, Oregon State. Paul Stone said they are the worst Power 4 power rating by several points. It's not even close. Northwestern, well, maybe they were ahead of Purdue going into the year, but Purdue might be better than Northwestern. So you talk about maybe the last, but Oregon's is not that much better.
No,
but Oregon State, we know about the Little Two or the Pac-2.
Here's why.
And all of those teams were much better 2 or 3 years ago.
From a just football standpoint, here's why I think it's been talked about less. Penn State scheduled these games on purpose.
Yeah, no.
Oregon has to play Oregon State. They have to play Northwestern. It's kind of like it's not their fault that those teams are terrible.
Or just go, 2 or 3 years ago, Oregon State was a fringe top 25 team.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State was in a Big 12 championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I get it, but I'm talking about
just
reality.
Like
now, what we have, no. They didn't. This wasn't by design, but because they were talking about statistics, and Andy mentioned statistics in college football. With these rent wins and the SEC playing the SWAC and this one, Florida State's beating teams by 80. What was the Minnesota game? Who was Minnesota up like about 80 points?
Oh, they ran
70 points.
Northwestern
State.
Yeah.
We got to be careful on just putting too much emphasis on these statistics so early, because what does it mean?
You got to really be paying attention to Oregon's schedule, because you just look at it on paper and you say Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Northwestern. That doesn't sound bad, okay? That sounds okay. That's reasonable, but those are really bad teams. No question about it. All right, first class. I got 3 for you. Performances this past weekend. Indiana. The blowout win against Illinois. We talked about it yesterday, but I want to ask you again about Francisco Mendoza, the quarterback. 14 touchdowns, I think.
Fernando.
That's what I said. Fernando.
I said Francisco.
Oh, Fernando. That's what I meant. My Spanish is great.
Well, but being a big ABBA fan, they never had a Francisco.
Take a chance on me, Jimmy.
Fernando.
All right. Fernando Mendoza. I apologize.
Fernando Diego.
Okay. I asked you yesterday if you thought he was an upgrade over from last year.
Oh, he might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's forget about that for a second. And how good is he? Is he a top 5 quarterback in the league? A top 3 quarterback in the league?
You're talking about in the Big Ten?
In the Big Ten, yeah.
Well, let me see here.
Would
I'm
you
get to my Big Ten standing, so I have it in front of me, and so they man, Charlie, they got a he's better right now than Michigan and Ohio State. He's better than Aller. Damon Williams is really good. I'd take him over anybody right now.
Yeah. There's some unknowns. Julian Sayin is off to a reasonable start for a freshman. He's got his first start on the road this week. The guy actually has got the most yards through 4 games, and they haven't played the most difficult schedule either. Is Maeva at USC? But I'm just trying to get an idea.
Maeva has the highest yards per attempt in the country.
Yeah,
like 12.7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's thrown 9 touchdowns and no interceptions. So he's got the best numbers. I'm trying to get an idea what I should think about Mendoza. Where Because that was an eye-opening win yesterday. That's of this run that Indiana has had since the beginning of last season. That's their most impressive win by 3 city blocks. And I'm kind of curious.
His last 2 games, he's 40 of 43. And there are no dink and dunks. It's 12.5 yards an attempt. 10 TDs, no interceptions. Your old saying, against air.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was Illinois, a good season team. Now the thing about the Illinois game is, I mean, what is Bielema at Wisconsin, at Arkansas, at Illinois? Why is it? Because it's taking and he was close to turning the corner at Arkansas. But what is their style of their team? What's their identity?
Physical, run the football, beat you up beat you up at the line of scrimmage.
Run and stop the run, lean on you.
Mm-hmm.
They outrushed them. They out-Bielema'd them. 312-2.
312-2. Yikes.
I mean 312-2.
Yikes.
So this is a somewhat respected team. I mean, maybe Illinois is not a top 10 team, which I never did think they were. But I still think they're a top 25 team. Some people think they're not even top 25. That's fine. They weren't on Saturday night. But I think they will be. But this was Indiana beat the teams they were supposed to. They lost to them. Maybe their best win was Michigan when they were kind of in their funk, kind of early in the season. A little bit circumstantial. They had a very soft schedule, but they just did not step up, and they couldn't. They didn't have the roster up front against Ohio State and Notre Dame. And those are the 2 teams that played for the national championship game. So we're talking about a huge gap, but it was they never had a chance against Notre Dame because they could not match up front. You outrush a Bielema team 312-2. They're probably going to be more equipped to handle these physical matchups up front should they advance to the postseason again. I mean, and you know what, Cignetti? Is Florida, the 3 of their last 4 hires, the last 4 hires have been fails. 3 of them were Lil Nicky understudies. McElwain, Napier, Muschamp. Would that hurt them go approach Cignetti, who's a Lil Nicky understudy too?
I don't think that would enter.
It shouldn't. I'm asking if it will.
No, I don't think it will. I think Cignetti's got a couple of things that are working against Florida being able to hire him. Number one, he's got an 8-year contract at $9 million a year. Now, we don't think about the Indiana football coaches making $9 million a year. That's just shy of what Kelly's making here, okay? But that's what he makes. He's also 64 years old, okay? I don't know that Florida would make a big play. I don't think that should matter all that much, but I don't know if they would make a big play to go and get him out of that contract, knowing that it's probably a 4 to 5 year fix.
Alabama would.
Alabama might. I think Florida would go younger. If Cignetti were 54 and not 64, I think it would be a different thing. But I think the money and the age, I think that they will go. They'll go somewhere else.
Why is his age? Is it hurting him right now?
No.
Okay.
But
he's a veteran coach or an older coach who's got the new way figured out more than anybody.
He does.
Nobody's done what he's done at Indiana, and it's not close.
Like I'm saying, it wouldn't bother me, but would it bother Florida to say, listen, if we get this guy and he does everything great, in 5 years, because he would be 65 next year when he takes over, in 5 years he's 70, and we got to hire another coach. We would rather hire somebody that we think can be here longer than that. I think that enters into the conversation. I'm not saying it would for
Florida
me.
better take 5 years and then figure it out later.
Well, and look, there are other older coaches that have great track. Willie Fritz, okay, is an older coach that has a great track record. Lance Leipold has a great track, but he's over 60.
How old is Nick Saban?
Saban's 73 now.
Okay, he would be just fine at his age. He's got left in the tank.
Isn't Nick Saban the outlier for everything, though? To expect that?
Okay, well, Cignetti's who's more of an outlier than Cignetti?
as a guy who went to Indiana and won, there is nobody else.
Big. You're going to get to the playoff 2 straight years, maybe?
You asked me a question, do I think Florida would go out? And I said no for the reasons of age and money. Okay, it's not because I don't think Cignetti would be successful there or is qualified to do the job. That's obvious. But do I think they would do it? I don't.
Well, maybe the Florida job's not as much as I thought it was.
Don't you think that Kiffin is going to be their first choice?
Cignetti would be mine.
Okay, and that's fair. I think that they'll go.
Kiffin would be way up there, maybe 2.
Yeah. And look, he makes the same $9 million a year as Cignetti does, so you got to deal with that contract.
Yeah, but the daughters are hanging out with the enemy.
It's play money. It's monopoly money.
She's giving a playbook to Weeks.
It was funny that dropped yesterday. Texas Tech in first class. Another game we thought would be close that wasn't. They went in and pulled away in the fourth quarter from Utah in Salt Lake City. They did this playing a backup quarterback for a lot of the game. And Texas Tech, who has poured a ton of money into this roster, we're seeing it through the first month of the season. Number 1 scoring offense, number 1 total offense in the Big 12. They're in the top 4 or 5 in scoring and total defense. How good are the Wet Waiters?
Enough where I just took them plus 300 to win the Big 12.
Which we thought was wide open at the beginning of the season. We thought
it's still wide open. And they got some tough road games in the conference. This is no lock by any stretch, but. And, they got to go to Arizona State. They have to go to Kansas State. I mean, even though Kansas State is struggling, that's still a tough place. I mean, the road schedule is pretty tough. But it's just, again, it's how Indiana beat Illinois. It's not just that they beat them. It's how Texas Tech went to Utah and beat them by 24 in one of the most difficult places to play. And physically, man, every yard was so hard for Utah. It was really, really, really tough. And so it seemed like they were playing with 14 guys on defense. And then they're hitting, they're wrapping, and that's the thing with Cignetti's team too. I said this last year with them. They block and tackle to pretty damn good too. I mean, they are. But this Texas Tech, they got the big guy in the middle, the run stuffer, just he clogs it up. He's impossible to move. Maybe the kid from Carr will be a similar type of player. He's got a chance to be like that. And, the backup might be as good, if not better, than it because he was really impressive. So trips to Tempe, to Houston to play Willie Fritz, to Kansas State, Morgantown should be a layup. But, no, this Texas Tech is for real. And the only thing is, the coach was a little sensitive about their roster build. It is what it is, man. I mean, who cares? Would you rather be publicized that you got it or not have it and nobody's talking about it?
I'm sorry, we're doing things by the letter of the law, and we're doing it better than you. It's like the tush push with the Eagles. You may not like the play. We do it better than you. Nobody else.
Need to defend it.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. As long as it's legal.
Give me Cody Campbell.
Yeah.
Double legal, Charlie.
Come on.
Double legal.
Here's another team that I got in first class, Missouri, for what they have done so far. A win against Kansas, a win against South Carolina. Both of these games were competitive, but what I like about Missouri is this is a team that is running the football. They are first in the SEC in rushing by a large margin. And you're right. The statistics can largely be skewed in September because of who you played. But, man, they 70 yards clear of second place in yards per game. And Ahmad Hardy, the transfer, who is averaging over 7.5 yards a carry, 150 yards a game. He's damn near 60 yards clear of the second leading rusher in the SEC right now. You want to talk about coaches that I'd be looking to poach if I was a big program and had stupid money? Put Eli Drinkwitz up there, okay? The 1 year at App State, whatever, that was a good program before. He steered the ship. They were 12-1. 3 rough years at Missouri to get things started. He had to start in the COVID year. They weren't terrible. The last 3 years, 11-2, 10-3, 4-0. That's 12-5 in the SEC. This is all at Missouri, who we still don't think is really in the conference, but they are. He's 42 years old. I'd like to be his agent right about now. So where are you on Missouri?
And also, they won comfortably with Lenore Sellers having maybe his best passing day of his young career. Oh, certainly of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, no, of the year, it's not even close. I mean, he threw for 94, 128, and 209. And he throws for 302 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. The Vanderbilt game was, I mean, he got knocked out. He was on his way to a great game. But, no, this is much more than what he averaged 200 yards a game passing, last year. So they a little bit of schedule, but damn it, they just keep. He's good, and it was kind of a tainted. That was so many guys sat out for Ohio State in that bowl game.
Yeah, that one's not.
But they're still doing it. And listen, everybody else is. Who's great rushing teams? We've got to look at Indiana, but everybody's running shotgun. So when you're kind of doing, when you're the contrarian, when you're presenting something that nobody else is, practicing against or have to go up on it against, it's usually more effective. And so you may have a point as far as their running game may create some problems for some other teams. Alabama goes to Columbia. That'll be an interesting game.
They get
I kind of like Missouri in that game.
They should be an underdog, right? When Alabama goes there.
Shoot, if Alabama's only 3 at Georgia, Alabama's going to be favored at Missouri.
Okay, so Missouri's going to beat UMass this weekend, and then they get a week off. They get 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama. So that will be a very interesting game. All right, second class. Good with a chance to be great. Man, we hated to see the injury to Steve Angeli for Syracuse this past weekend. He's off to the great start. He was leading the ACC, which has a lot of good quarterbacks this year, in passing yards going in. They got off to the great start, the quick start against Clemson. They pull the upset, but unfortunately he's out for the season. So this opens up the injury out for the season. So this opens up the door for Ricky Collins, former Woodlawn star. Spent a year at LSU, 2 years at LSU, and went up there kind of thinking he was going to be the starter. A lot of people thought that when he transferred up there, he would be the starter. Angeli beat him out, and now Angeli's out for the season. So you've got an offense that was playing well. They won 3 out of 4 games. The loss was to Tennessee. They put up some points in that game. So he's got some supporting cast to work with. He's got a really interesting coach. I think that this is an opportunity for Collins. He got into the game against Clemson. He was 3 of 8, but he did throw a touchdown pass there. So here's his opportunity. This is his job with a team that has got some skins on the wall here so far.
Yeah, they Angeli, the Colgate, when he threw for 382 and 5 TDs.
Okay,
there you go.
Colgate,
you know what
right?
I mean? But this Clemson, he was lighting them up, man. He was on fire. And this was he did not have a great game against UConn. Struggled. He had a poor game, but this is also a schedule. Collins going to have there's going to be some tough games. Syracuse has one of the toughest schedules in the country. They go play Tennessee. Oh, neutral site, my ass. Come on. 90% of the stadium in Atlanta was Tennessee, at Clemson, at SMU, at Georgia Tech, at Miami, at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He's gonna get baptized really quick. So, but it's just the Fran Brown, man. I love the under Syracuse. That schedule's impossible. And they pulled it out when they played poorly and should have lost to UConn, and then they win a game that they're not supposed to in Clemson. He's getting some attention. I know that.
And no class. Look, Oklahoma is one of the most storied programs in the country. Okay, they ran the little peekaboo, hideout thing against Auburn. All right, I thought it was kind of Bush League when I saw it, and then after in the last couple of days, and I've tried to make sure this is not AI. It's been reported multiple places that Bob Stoops was on the radio saying, "Yeah, worked on that all week."
I don't think it is him.
You think is that?
I don't think that was him.
Okay.
I don't think he does home radio.
No, just on an interview or something that he said. I tried to make sure it was real. It's been reported, so even if it's not,
I don't think.
If you're trying, okay, so let's take the Stoops thing out of it. If you're running that, you're Oklahoma, really. I'm sorry.
This was discussed among the league beforehand, and they knew it. This
Bush
is
League.
Sankey came down hard on the officials, but
Yeah.
they did report it. The officials, because you have to really. It's clearly he's outside the number. Everything about it is bad, and this was some other bad calls as well along the way. This was a
I don't blame Auburn for being steamed. They should be. You're Oklahoma, man. You don't have to do this. I think the most aggravated I got with Les Miles outside of the 2011 national championship game was when he put the same 38 on all the punters.
I know.
I'm like, this is
all the
Bush
kickers,
League.
punters and kickers.
Yeah. This is Bush League. You are LSU. You are above this, trying to deke somebody on a damn punter or kicker. And I feel the same way about Oklahoma. You're one of the best programs ever. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go intentionally break the rules. Play the game straight up.
Don't forget our friends at Supreme Rice bringing you first, second, no class each and every Tuesday at noon with Charlie doing his best work there. So you know what? We got some whole peeled tails, crawfish tails over at Supreme Rice. So now available, heads and tails above the rest, frozen whole boiled and peeled tails. So it's always good stuff. So, again, peeled tails, frozen whole tails as well. Parboiled, man, all of the benefits of the brown rice. So, you talk about really good, packed with nutrients, similar to our brown rice. But it's a long grain rice. It's firm, doesn't have a whole lot of residue. When you boil it, I boil a lot at one point, put them in those Ziploc bags in the freezer so I can just microwave it when I'm ready. But, man, it is my favorite. And if you go out and get your rice, get the Supreme Rice, but try my favorite, the parboiled rice, available at all Baton Rouge area grocery stores.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It has been a really, really rough week at Auburn. We talked about the stuff on the field with the Oklahoma game and the league having to step in there. Then yesterday, Bruce Pearl, the most successful basketball coach in the history of the school, announced his retirement. And today, this is the most tragic news we've seen. Running back Rudy Johnson, who was a star at Auburn and also played a long time in the NFL, played 8 years in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals and briefly for the Lions, passed away. The team confirmed, the Bengals confirmed this news, was reported by TMZ. A cause of death and the exact date were not disclosed, but both the Bengals and Auburn have acknowledged this. Rudy Johnson, who played in 2001 and 2000 and 2001 at Auburn, was a phenomenal junior college running back at Butler. They were back-to-back national champions when he was there. And when he got to Auburn, he made a big impact on them. Jimmy Auburn's had some pretty good running backs, man. We could list them for a long time, man. They have produced some tailbacks. His season when he was the Offensive Player of the Year in the SEC in 2000 is the fourth best season in Auburn school history. I mean, when you look at that's a who's who of college running backs that have come through Auburn. He rushed for over 1,500 yards. He had 13 touchdowns that season running the football. And they were really good, and he was outstanding. And he's only 45 years old, so it's tragic. And we remember one play with Rudy Johnson in Nick Saban's first year.
Tommy Tuberville's second year at Auburn when he jumped ship from Ole Miss to Auburn. And remember, Rudy Johnson was a star, and he had to go back to Oxford and play. And he kind of busted one open, and it was a big emotional game, but it was one of Saban's first road conference games in 2000, and Auburn was up. LSU was out of timeouts, and it was a minute and a half. So all they had to do was take a knee, and they punched one in on LSU. I was covering the game and went to the press conference in the stadium. It was some little just cinder block wall room, man. And asked Saban what he thought about the last touchdown. He looked at me for a few seconds. He's pissed. He said, "Next question."
Yeah.
Yeah. He was not happy about it, and so, well, the whole Tuberville in LSU. It's 99 where they smoked the cigars.
Yes.
Here in Tiger Stadium. So it was 2000. He runs it up, and so, well, that was. And remember with it, it's just, and that's what it was fresh in people's mind. Smoking the cigars at Tiger Stadium. They were making a coaching hire, and Skip said, "Well, can we hire Tommy Tuberville?" Oh, no, that's too fresh.
Absolutely not.
No, it's too fresh.
I remember having that discussion with several people. He's a really good coach. No way. Smoked cigars, punched. No, was a non-starter. Too awful story there for Rudy
The other
Johnson.
thing that's we were, just linking the rumors and the stories about Bruce Pearl running for Senate and basically taking Tommy Tuberville's seat. Well, not immediately.
He kind of shut that down with that video that he posted yesterday. He changed
for
his mind.
now.
But, yeah, he
for
changed
now.
his mind.
I mean, Auburn didn't want to. You think Bruce Pearl can raise some money for you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you stay right here. We're gonna make it. I think it's a win-win for both of them. But now the tough part is, and I can only remember really like one of these working where you hand it over to your son, and that's Dick Bennett to Tony Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
At Washington State. He was very good, well enough to where got him to the tournament and to get to the Virginia job too. But most of them don't make it. What's going to happen when Bruce Pearl is on your staff in some capacity, and Stephen Pearl is not doing the job enough that they should make a switch? That's going to be a little sticky.
Yeah. I was thinking about Joey Meyer at DePaul taking over. Ray Meyer was a legend. Joey was okay.
I have no problem with Bruce. I'm an Auburn guy. Bruce, who you want?
Yeah.
It's your son or who else? And it's kind of laid out that way. Kelvin Sampson. It's going to be that way in Houston. It's not the last one.
Right.
It's happened before. Homer Drew to Bryce Drew.
John Thompson to John Thompson.
Yeah. Most of them don't work out. So, but some of them do. So don't forget our friends over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Does your neighborhood require wood windows like mine does? Don't make the mistake like I do, especially if you're doing new construction, and that is get the windows that are going to last from Relief Windows. The South Louisiana weather conditions are rough. Most wood windows are not treated. These are treated all the way to the core, not just on the surface. The premier gel wind wood window company, we're proud to be the distributor of these. The wood windows combine the beauty of real wood with the high-tech energy efficiency features for all climate zones, all weather conditions, like we have in South Louisiana. Built with RLS wood, the windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites, providing you functionality, great looks, and they will last. Relief Windows at ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Mike Anderson's, Wesley at Nicholson. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for our family over the years. So if you got back pain, muscle soreness, neck pains, things that are keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like or keeping you from getting a good night's sleep, let them help you out with all of the techniques that they can try to get you feeling better and pinpoint those problem areas. Airline Highway, Plank Road, and Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Bring in Greg Bowser now to talk LSU football. Greg, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great, Charlie. How you doing, man? Tigers are 4-0 and looking good, huh?
Well, the quarterback mostly was what. Look, we're not going to take a whole lot from the Southeastern game itself. From hey, they won the game. Of course they did. What I took from it was Garrett Nussmeier. You watched this game. What did you think of how Nussmeier looked physically?
Well, I think he looked okay, but I didn't expect anything from him in this game. I really was surprised that they didn't just turn around, maybe throw a couple of passes, but hand the ball off and beat these guys up and get out of there. And he didn't do anything special. I thought he looked okay. He looked pretty healthy to me. I didn't see any signs of, what they were saying was wrong with him.
I think that the fact that they put him out there and let him do some things was encouraging. I thought he looked very healthy. And, one of the things we used to get on Les Miles about in games like this was he did turn around and hand the ball off and just get it over with. I was happy that if you got to play a game like this, and we wish they wouldn't, but if you have to play a game like this, when you get the backups in, let them do something. And they let Michael Van Buren run the offense. He threw 12 passes in this game. They were running stuff. We did one on film study last night where they were 5 wides in the second half. They've got the big league, but Frank Selfo understands, they're trying to win a championship. So I was happy. What did you think of Van Buren?
I thought he was okay. I really did. I thought he played well. I thought that he showed enough to where if he has to come in the game, I think he can be okay. If you got a chance to work with him during the week and game plan him, I think he could run the offense.
I thought he did a nice job, and there were some nice things from Mississippi State last year. Other than that, there's not a whole lot you can take from this. LSU had the superior roster by a whole bunch. So let's turn our attention to Ole Miss. Very impressive win against Tulane. They had a shootout win against Arkansas. When you look at this Lane Kiffin team, and yesterday he was doing his best job at whining and poor mouthing and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
When you see Ole Miss and LSU, what do you think are the biggest keys to this game?
I think for LSU it's going to be, can you really slow down that offense of Ole Miss? Because I think Ole Miss is going to score on you. I think that Lane's got a pretty good offense. The other one that scares me is that, LSU's offense should really get going because Ole Miss doesn't have a great defense. And so LSU, I think, you can run the ball at them, but LSU hasn't been able to run the ball, so we'll see what happens there. But I think LSU's offense has to come and win this ball game because Ole Miss is going to put pressure on LSU's defense because Ole Miss will score. They'll move the football. I think that's going to happen.
I asked Jimmy earlier in the show, this total is 54, so somewhere around 27, 28 points each team. If Ole Miss scores 27 points, does LSU win? You think LSU wins the game if they score 27 points? No. That's a reasonable total to you for Ole Miss?
If Ole Miss scores 27 points or more, LSU is not going to win this game.
They're not going to win the game. Okay. Then
no,
tell me, you don't think that the offense can score 4 touchdowns or 28 points against Ole Miss?
Well, this offense in the 4 previous games, you throw out the Southeastern game and you throw out the Louisiana Tech game. This offense really hadn't shown me that it can score that many points. I just don't think so.
Okay, fair enough. Do we think Clemson's defense is better? I know Florida's defense is better than Ole Miss's. Clemson's defense, I don't know. My confidence is shaking at what I thought a month ago with them.
Yeah.
Do you think that Ole Miss's defense is better than Clemson's defense?
I think it is. Here's the thing. Let's remember Florida. Florida threw 5 interceptions, and we still couldn't really separate from them in terms of score. They were still in the ball game. And if you turn the ball over, if you throw 5 interceptions in a ball game, to me it's going to be a blowout, and that didn't happen. So that's why I'm telling you. I think that this offense, I don't think they can score 30 points. I don't think they can.
And I don't know. I'm a little bit torn on that. Jimmy's got me squarely on the fence on this one because I'm kind of squarely on the fence. Part of me wants to believe that Garrett Nussmeier was physically encumbered in the Florida game and at least in part of the Clemson game. That's why I was encouraged to see him throw the ball with the velocity that he did and with the accuracy that he did. But does that translate on the road against a better team, obviously, than they saw last week? I'm not sure about that. And then the LSU run game. Caden Durham is iffy, whether he'll play or not, and if he does play, if he's going to be limited or not. Although I was so impressed. I did like what I saw to Jawan Johnson the other night. I thought he ran the ball hard for LSU.
Yeah, I thought they ran the ball hard. I think they've got to get committed to the run and make it work. And I'm not real sure what's happening, how far they think they've come along with that offensive line gelling together and being able to do that. We'll see what happens. I don't think you can throw the ball a whole lot and just continue to sling the ball around the field against a really, really good SEC team and be successful. So If LSU, if they can score 30 points or more, but I just don't see us being able to do that in that kind of shootout.
The running game issues are. This is very easy to diagnose, and we did the film study. You can catch it right now on Handycast on YouTube. The running plays that don't work, almost all of them are because somebody has missed a block. They're not running into stacked fronts. They're not having backs miss gaping holes. Okay, when LSU's running game doesn't work, it's because somebody got beat up front. Somebody missed an assignment. Somebody missed a block. There was some, a confusion or whatever. There's 4 or 5 plays that we pointed out last night. It's like, okay, this isn't blocked properly. All you can do is keep working at that. But from what I see, it is not schematics. It is not the running backs. It is not even the play calling. Okay, it is people in the front not doing their assignment when the LSU run game has gotten bogged down. That's what I see.
I agree, Charlie. What really surprised me is that it's not even the defense walking an extra guy in the box to stop the run. That's what surprised me. It's not that. It's just basically my guys are beating your guy somehow. Either somebody misses it on assignment or he just gets beat or whatever. But it's not where they're walking as extra guys in the box. And that's what worries me, especially at this point in the game.
Whereas all Tiger fans, I think the positive thing is you don't need an overhaul of this offense. You just need some guys to start blocking better, particularly on the right side. It would solve a whole lot of things. All right, how do you see it playing out on Saturday?
Well, I think I like LSU. If they can get the running game going, I think LSU can take control because the running game will keep the Ole Miss offense off the field and limit Ole Miss's opportunities. I like that. I think LSU may be in a close game. Charlie, I just don't see him. If this thing gets over 30, it gets to be a shootout. I don't think we win that one.
I don't know about a shootout. I don't know how that plays out. I'm with you on the run game. This Ole Miss is the worst run defense in the league through 4 games. Yep. Again, it's limited sample size. LSU is the second to worst running offense in the SEC through 4 games. Whoever it gets the better of that, I think if LSU can run the football, that they win. If they can't, if they get the state of their average or below it, Ole Miss probably wins the game. Greg, we appreciate your time as we appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, buddy. See you.
Brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau and Highway 70 in Pierre Part. And we tell you about all your tailgating supplies and your outdoor cooking, supplies. They are in huge supply at both the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. But if you're looking to do some home improvements, hand tools, power tools, your lumber delivered out of the Pierre Part Store location, and experts there that can walk you through it. That's what we really like about these properties is the service that you get. Jimmy, when you were on your shopping trip, on your field trip, tell me they didn't say, "Hey, listen, you might like this, but you might like this better." They're gonna actually help you out, so you're not wasting time and money.
And just easy going, low pressure, and just kind of just helpful. And it's kind of go back in time. It's as opposed to you go in one of these these chain places where. Oh, is anybody working here in this section? Yeah. Can I get somebody to help me out? No, it's not that area. You walk in, you greet it as soon as you come in. Do you need some help? They'll give you one of their specialists who they know everything inside and out. Well, I'm looking for this over here. So it's just really friendly, warm type of independently owned and operated type of session, but efficiently done. And well done. So things that you just don't get at some of the big box stores. 900
St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. Highway 70 in Pierre Port. Online, thethibodeaustore.com. Same-day pickup and delivery on some items is available on the website. Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast dropped last night. Film study from the game against Southeastern. Some interesting things in the run game there. It's brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Check them out at SupremeRice.com. Newsy day with Jackson Dart going into the Giants' starting lineup. He'll start this week against the Chargers. And Mike Gundy, since 2005, the head coach at Oklahoma State, fired today. Here's some of the names that they're kicking around here early, Jimmy. Texas San Antonio coach Jeff Traylor. They won back-to-back Conference USA titles in 21 and 22. 9-8 since the start of last season, so they've cooled a little bit there, but he was a hot name at one time. North Texas coach Eric Morris. Guys, he's out of the Mike Leach coaching tree.
Yeah.
Played for Leach at Texas Tech. He was with him at Washington State where he was the OC. That's another name. Dana Holgorsen, calling plays at Nebraska right now, was really good at West Virginia, was not good at Houston when they were making the transition into the Big 12.
I don't know. I don't know about that guy as far as embracing the new roster building method. No.
Top offensive coordinator name being mentioned for the job, Texas A&M's Colin Klein, if they want to go for a first-time head coach.
Defensive coordinators look good when they got better players, huh?
They do.
Yeah.
The offensive coordinators, too.
I think that's a weak list. The guy at North Texas, remember, North Texas went to like 4 straight bowl games, and they fired their coach. Like, what are y'all doing? Now, they're another one of those schools. They got an enrollment of over 40,000. They've got some Texas money, so they probably have as much, if not more, NIL money with the teams in their conference. Okay, yeah. So it's not a ton, but it's all about they just wanted to get away from this run-oriented offense. They wanted a more exciting brand of football. Well, it hasn't been a winning football as of late. They had a big win at Metchie Stadium up at West Point on Saturday, so maybe they'll get some wins this year. But and the quarterback's pretty good this year, so maybe North Texas, this will be the year. He's hot, but it's kind of on the come there.
How good a job is this? Oklahoma State?
It's not. I mean, I've got to think that Gundy at least asked the administration, can y'all give me some NIL money? I mean, maybe he's not busting it as far as, going in gland head in the boosters and hustling like a Bruce Pearl or somebody like that, but T-Boone Bickens is not around anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying this is a weak list. Maybe this is a list that fits what they can actually hire.
But Charlie, should they got enough interest and support as Arizona State.
Arizona State hired one of their own, and it's worked out for them.
Okay, but it's just they don't have as much as the Texas schools like TCU and Baylor in their league, but they got some of these, Central Florida, West Virginia. Come on. They could play with those teams and compete with those teams for money.
I might try to pry Gus Malzahn out of Florida State. Just a thought. Tomorrow we're at Roca Pizzeria. Thanks to the folks here at Mike Anderson's for being our host. From all of us here and Jordan back in the studio, thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5.